As a matter of fact, it is written, I will take, what is it? I will take 2 out of a family and 1 out of a city.
Yep.
All right, so.
That's what the scriptures say, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Fear and trembling. And these are, when it says fear and trembling, these are the things that we're going to have to go through. This is all part of the tribulation. Being demonized, being called terrorists and all of that madness. So reading on, the 22nd verse, and ye shall be hated, this is Matthew 10 and 22, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. And that is what we have to endure. Being called terrorists, being demonized by the media, you know, being demonized by our own family members, you know, that's what it means. And he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Those are the things that we have to endure. Now, the word endure in the Greek, the word there is it means to make hard. All right, to make durable. Durable means to be made hard. Yep. And that's what you have to become, brothers. You got to become hard. You can't be emotional in this thing. You know?
Yeah, that's what tribulation brings. It hardens.
It hardens.
You know, because what it does, when you exercise through those things, it builds you up. You know.
Yep.
Sometimes it comes to the point where you almost like you don't have any what's the matter? Word I'm looking for is, you know, basically certain things don't bother you.
Yeah, you become resilient.
Right. You become hard.
Yeah, you become hard. And that's what it means to endure to the end. Endure, the word endure means to be made hard. Now I want to share another scripture with you. This is the book of Matthew 5, 10 to 12. It says, but blessed, Matthew 5, 10 to 12, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake.
Yep.
For theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And part of that persecution is being demonized. All right? Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. All right? Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. What's an example of that? Being called a terrorist?
Yep.
For the Lord's sake. What's the Lord's sake? These prophecies. Because one of the main prophecies is that we're saying that America is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction. Now there are certain members of the government that looks at that as a terrorist statement.
Yep.
As a statement of
being against the government.
Insurrection.
Insurrection, yep.
Right, as a statement of insurrection, as a statement of being against the government.
Yep.
But you got to speak the truth. And what is the truth? That the Lord is going to destroy America in thermonuclear destruction. All right? That's the truth. That's what the scriptures say. So they're going to, when you speak the truth, there's going to be men that will revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice, this is the 12th verse, Matthew 5, rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. So what does that prove? That proves, if you have that spirit, that proves you were one of those ancient prophets back then. And you're coming now in this time to do it all over again. Because remember, the Lord sent out the prophets to what? To condemn. It tells you that in the book of Jeremiah, the 28th chapter. It tells you exactly why the Lord sent the prophets, the real true prophets. The honest to goodness, real deal prophets. Yep. It tells you why the Lord sent them. The Lord sent them to condemn societies. Not to join up with the society and find a better way to help the society thrive. The Lord raised up those prophets to condemn that society. And that's exactly us, man. That's us here at GMS, beginning with Elder to on down. We're here to condemn this place, man.
Yep.
All right? That's our job. All right? So when you're doing your job, you're going to be reviled, you're going to be persecuted. Now when that happens to you, just remember that's part of the persecution. That's part of the tribulation, Acts 14 and 22. That's why I started out the lesson with that. Just remember that's all part of that tribulation. All right? And when you remember that, it helps you go through it just that much easier. So let's take another look, or let's take a look at an example that happened to Yahushua, to show you that it's going to happen to us just like it happened to Yahushua. Yeah, here's an example out of the scriptures concerning Yahushua. Show you how he was demonized, you know, in his darkest hour. And it happened to him, so it's going to happen to us. I mean, it's not necessarily going to happen to us the same way it happened to Yahushua, but pretty much it's going to happen to us. That we're going to be demonized, brought before these government officials and all of that, you know, just like we read in the prophecy. This is Matthew 26, beginning at 59. It says, "Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Yahushua to put him to death." See? False witness. You like an example of that, like on our sites, those different scoffers that come on our sites, and they leave these comments saying that we're part of a cult, or we're part of this, or we're part of that. Those are the false witnesses.
Yep.
And you're gonna have these guys that once claimed they were Israelites but sold out to the Illuminati. They're part of the false witnesses too. A lot of these guys, they were once Israelites. They got disenchanted. They fell out of the truth, and some of them are broke. So to make money, they go to the you know, to those elites, those wicked elites, and try to sell us out.
Yeah, like Gehenna.
Yeah, Gehenna is a good example. Now you got this guy Yahshua now. I bet you he's part of a group that's looking to try to tear us down. You know? I mean, I don't have the concrete proof, but I'll bet you that's why he's doing what he's doing. His motive has always been money, his main motivation. I mean, he was the one that made the statement, "I'm tired of being broke." So what's his main motivation? You think his main motivation is this truth?
Nope.
No, his main motivation is the Federal Reserve notes, man.
Yeah, from the abundance of the heart, man speaketh.
So you had that even back then. That was the purpose of Judas. Remember, Judas sold out Yahushua for what? For 30 pieces of silver. All right, reading on. It says, "Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Yahushua to put him to death, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came." You know, I'm at the belief that there's more Israelites that hate us than like us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like Yahushua. "But found none, yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came 2 false witnesses, and said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of the Most High and build it in 3 days." So the point is, they found 2 guys that pretty much was lying against Yahushua, which Yahushua did say what he said, but he was talking. He was
talking about himself. He wasn't
right.
talking about the actual temple. In
Actual
Jerusalem.
temple, right? And he was speaking spiritually,
Right.
right?
Because they did destroy his body. How did they destroy his temple? Not the scripture say that we are the temple of the Most High.
Yep.
When they put him up on that cross and pierced him in the side and all that, they
Yep.
destroyed his temple.
And that, like the false witnesses that come against us in this day, they don't understand the things that we speak.
Right.
We speak the things in spirit,
Yep.
not in physical. We're speaking spiritual. All right. So just like with Yahushua. So it says, and said, this fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of the Most High and build it in 3 days. And the high priest arose. Now this is the high priest. This is supposed to be a guy that knows about the scriptures, that's supposed to be spiritual, right? It says, the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witnesses against thee? But Yahushua held his peace. And the high priest answered and said to him, I adjure thee by the living power that thou tellest whether thou be the Christ, the Son of the Most High. Reading on the 64th verse, Yahushua said unto him, Thou hast said, Nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He hath spoken blasphemy. what further need have we of witnesses? Behold, now ye heard this blasphemy. Reading on, it says, what think ye? They answered and said, he is guilty of death. And that's all because they didn't understand the man spiritually, what he was saying spiritually. Then did they spit in his face and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palm of their hands. Now these were wicked-ass Israelites, and those same spirits are back here today. All right? Them same guys that were doing that, they're back here today.
Yeah, that was Yashawan, Lahab, Gehenna.
That's right.
Your asshole, Rahab, the Chinese water rat up in Mass, Saadia, Aram, all them guys.
All those guys, man. That's got to be them coming back in the spirit.
Yep, Batak.
Yep.
Sarge.
Yep, they're all marked. So read on, it says, then did they spit in his face and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palm of their hands, saying, prophesy unto us, thou Christ. Who is he that smote thee? So they're basically demonizing him, making fun of him. The same thing they try to do with us. Right? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to end it there on the 68th verse. Now I'm going to go to the final scripture, which is Matthew 27, 11 to 14. So you get the point. It happened to Yahushua. It's going to happen to us as well.
That's right.
And I believe there's a scripture where it says, the same way Yahushua have suffered, arm yourself likewise with the same mind. Right? So you got to get it in your mind that the same way Yahushua was demonized, the same way he suffered in his darkest hour, the same way he was demonized by the council of his days, the same way we're going to be demonized.
Yep.
So don't get weak when it happens, brothers. Just like I read to you the scripture, blessed are ye when men shall revile you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my name's sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven.
Yep.
For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
Yeah, because none of these other guys that claim themselves to be Israelites that's out there teaching, they're not preparing their congregation for what's coming.
Yeah,
you know, exactly. This is warning you so that way you can have it already in your mind. So when it happens, you know, like when Yahushua told the disciples certain things, they didn't understand it at the time. Mm-hmm. But then when Yahushua got grabbed up and this happened, then they understood what the Lord meant by this and by that, you know?
Yeah, so that's when you're going to get the full understanding, brothers, when it actually happens to you. When you're grabbed up and brought before some, and don't be surprised you grabbed up and brought before some government official and some rat bastard guy who called himself an Israelite is sitting there right there to condemn you. Yeah. Don't be surprised. That's going to happen. You walk into a room and be, wait a minute, I know this guy.
Yep.
That's one of those guys that sold out, that have been sold out. Don't be surprised if Gehenna's in there looking at, hey, he's one of them. He's one of them Israelites.
Yeah, because you got spies too amongst the camps.
Again, it is written. Those that came in privately to spy out our liberty in Yahushua.
That's right.
You know, so you got to take all of that into
consideration
and being in this knowledge, being in this truth. All right. So now the final scripture is Matthew 27, 11 to 14. And Yahushua stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, art thou the king of the Jews? And Yahushua said unto him, thou sayest. And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. So see, the same way they accused him, this is the son of the Lord. This is the son of Yahweh being accused. Yep. So how much more us, man? Did not the Lord say we're not greater than the servant? The servant is not greater than his master.
That's right.
He's the master, we're the servant. So if it happened to the master, it's going to happen to the servant.
Yeah, if they persecuted him, it's not us they're not going to persecute.
Yeah, so when you're persecuted, don't get weak, man. Don't look for the back door. And even if you look for the back door, that just means you're not part of the elect.
Yep.
If you're part of the elect, you'll deal with the persecution. You just suck it up, you know? Anyway, reading on, it says, and when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? And he answered him to never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. So basically with that, you know, we're going to end it right there. It's just a little lesson just to prepare you brothers for, you know, different aspects of persecution different aspects of tribulation.
That are
One of
coming.
them that are coming, one of them is being demonized. This is GMS Walk and Talk, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Shalom.
Shalom.